still a few people sitting. We still have the president standing up. Good evening, everyone. We can get everybody seated. It's a pleasure to welcome all of you to the College of Business Centennial Celebration. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Sharon Oswald, and I'm the Dean of the College of Business. Thank you. This weekend is really the culmination of a year-long celebration and tribute to the rich history of this college. We began this process planning this event, or this whole year of celebration, over 2 years ago. So later in the program, you'll hear a little bit about what we've done all year long to celebrate this momentous occasion. But none of this could have been made possible without the generous support of our friends, our alum, and our sponsors tonight. So we thank you all for everything you've done for us. It also could not have been done without the tireless efforts of 3 people: Dr. Melissa Moore, Emily Daniels, and Catherine Williams. So if you just give a round of applause to them. And excuse me, I'm starting to lose my voice already. When I think about the 100th anniversary of this college, I started thinking about what was going on in the country in 1915. So Woodrow Wilson was president. Babe Ruth hit his first career home run that year. It was the year the German U-boat sank the Lusitania. Typhoid Mary hit New York City, and it was the year Frank Sinatra was born, so everybody can relate to that one. In Mississippi, it was the beginning of the Great Migration, where many of the former slaves started moving to the north in order to find new prosperity. At that time, the state was ranked 3rd in timber, and agriculture was the economic driver of the state. And the state's leading farmer was a man named George Hightower, who was the president of MSU at that time. But it was a man named James Bowen, who was a professor of foreign languages, who convinced Dr. Hightower that it was important to have a business presence and a business school at Mississippi State. In fact, from everything I've read about it, he would ask anybody or talk to anyone he could, and try to convince them how important business was. And so, on October 15th, 1915, the first business program in the state of Mississippi was founded with James Bowen at the helm, and it was founded here at Mississippi State. And as a colleague of mine the other day, I saw him at a meeting from another SEC school, which is much younger than us, said, it's really a tribute to the administration back then to be so forward-thinking to have a business school back in 1915. So right now, we celebrate this 100th anniversary. We're the 4th oldest college of business in the SEC. Georgia is 3 years older, and then Tennessee and Missouri are both only a year older. So I'm really happy that each and every one of you are here to be with us tonight to celebrate what I hope will be an enjoyable evening for all of you. So I have a few housekeeping matters. First of all, I have a set of keys up here that were left in the women's bathroom. So if they belong to you, they are up here at the podium. Also, the silent auction will remain open until 7:30. So if you still want to bid on an item, or if you didn't get a chance to go over to the table, it will be open until 7:30, and then at the end of the program, we'll announce the winners of each of the items. Also, at the end of the program, we will have some more of the champagne flutes. If anyone would like to purchase one, those at the table are yours to take home with you, but we will be using them later on in the program. But at this time, I'd like to ask Tyrus Hill, who's a senior majoring in finance and graduating next month, to give our invocation. And Tyrus is a native of Caledonia, Mississippi, and he's the president of our student ambassadors for the College of Business. Thank you, Tyrus.
Good evening. I'd first like to say thank you to Dean Oswald for asking me to do this invocation. It truly is an honor to be in the room with such esteemed individuals such as yourself. If you will, bow with me, please. We are thankful for today, the day that you've given us, for its blessings, its opportunities, its challenges. May we appreciate and use each day that comes to us. We pray for strength and guidance for each day as it comes, for each day's duties, for each day's problems. May we be challenged to give our best always, and may we be assured of your presence with us. Amen. Enjoy your dinner.
Continue to eat, but we're going to go ahead in the essence of time to begin the program. At this time, I would like to introduce Dr. Mark Keenum, our 19th president of Mississippi State University, who will say a few words.
Thank you, Dean. Well, good evening, everyone. It's a very honor for me to be here with such an illustrious audience here tonight in this beautiful facility. And I'm amazed that I'm here tonight with so many non-basketball fans. That's what's impressed me the most. I was asking John Rush to get me the score. He hasn't shared that with me yet. We're trying to get the score for the game tonight. 10-6, all right, yay, all right. Well, isn't this a beautiful facility that we're in tonight? This is wonderful. I know that many of you, this is the first time to be here in our MSU meal, and we are so excited to have this beautiful facility. You know, this isn't bad for a building that's 113 years old, is it? A lot went into bringing this building to reality, and we're so pleased to have this. This is something that's really special for not only Mississippi State University, but for our entire community here in Starkville, to have such a beautiful, beautiful conference center here. It's something that we've needed for such a long time. I remember the other day, a couple of weeks ago, we had the dedication ceremony here to dedicate this, and had a lot of dignitaries, and we had about this many people here in this grand ballroom for the event, big event. And they wanted to have a ribbon cutting, and they wanted me to cut the ribbon. So I said, okay. And they made a big deal out of having a pair of these big shears. Some of you were here, that were used when this building was first built in 1902 as a cotton mill, okay? And these were some big old rusty old shears. And I thought to myself, there's no way they're going to cut that ribbon. And sure enough, it didn't cut the ribbon. But finally, I hacked away at it long enough to get it to cut. And our governor was here, Governor Bryant. And I know we've got some out-of-town folks who may not catch all this, but, you know, he said, I've been to a lot of campuses. I've been to all the university campuses all over the state. I've seen a lot of really beautiful buildings on these university campuses. But I got to say, this is the most beautiful building on a university campus I've ever seen that doesn't have Thad Cochran's name on it. I thought that's pretty good. I like that. Well, as Dean Oswald mentioned, our College of Business was founded in 1915. And it is, as she said, one of the oldest in the entire South. But it has roots before 1915. We had courses called commercial courses that were taught at Mississippi A&M, even under our first president, Stephen D. Lee. And as the dean mentioned, our first School of Business curriculum was developed, and it was overseen by the very first leader of our school, Professor James Bowen. But he was affectionately known as Bad Eye Bowen. True, he only had one eye. And our current present-day Bowen Hall is named for him. But he wanted our business students to get a well-rounded education. He wanted them to have a heavy dose of the liberal arts, mathematics, and languages. And he also later spearheaded the development and outreach of our business school. He designed courses here that were targeted to help farmers, to help school teachers, to help merchants. And he organized courses that were taught all across the state of Mississippi. So our College of Business has a long, prestigious history of academic rigor combined with a commitment of outreach and service to our state. And our college is continuing to do that to this very day. I'm very proud that we have the oldest business information system major in the country here at Mississippi State. We have the second oldest professional golf management program in the country. And our MBA distance program is ranked among the top 20 in the country. You come to our campus, you come to McCool Hall, you're going to see the largest trading room in the state, and it's one of the largest in the entire Southeast. And we now are building, if you haven't been over to McCool Hall, a state-of-the-art center for entrepreneurship and innovation. And entrepreneurship at Mississippi State and our College of Business is flourishing. We currently have nearly 70 student-run businesses representing every one of our colleges and 39 different majors. Both the trading room and our entrepreneurship center were completely paid for with private donations by quite a number of you in this room. Thank you. Over the past 100 years, more than 33,000 degrees have been awarded by the College of Business. And those graduates have made a bold impact not only on our state, but on our nation. And when you review in your little booklet you have on your table the list of 100 distinguished business alums who we're honoring here tonight, it's like a who's who of the most impressive graduates of Mississippi State University. These are individuals who are today having tremendous impacts in the world around us. And many of you are here tonight, and we thank you for your outstanding contributions and what you're doing for our state and for our nation. Our students today have a high bar to live up to because of the standards that so many of you have set. But I'm impressed every year. I've been here now 7 years. In 6 of the 7 years that I've been here at Mississippi State, our students in our College of Business who are majoring in banking and finance have won the Orrin Swayze Top Student in Banking and Finance from Mississippi State University 6 of the last 7 years. That's outstanding. Our international business program here at Mississippi State is a one of a kind. It requires our students to both earn a degree in business, but also a degree in foreign languages. They also have to complete an internship, and they have to also study abroad. It's a 5-year program. When these students complete this program, we have 100% job placement for our students who complete the International Business Program. And oh, by the way, our graduates of our Masters of Accountancy program here, they also have a 100% job placement when they graduate. Our Mississippi State College of Business, again, has compiled a very outstanding, illustrious history over its past 100 years. And it wouldn't have happened without a lot of foresight, a lot of vision, of a lot of outstanding faculty and administrators many years ago up to this present day. And let me tell you, we are absolutely blessed to have someone like Dean Sharon Oswald who's leading our College of Business. So Dean Oswald, I just want to say thank you so much for what you're doing to lead this great college. I can't wait to see the next 100 years. Thank you, and God bless you.
Okay, at this time, we're going to have a little bit of a change in our program. Our guest speaker has to catch a flight to Phoenix tonight, and he didn't want to be cut short on his talk. So at this point, I want to introduce Mr. George Bryan, who's the CEO of Waverly and former CEO of Sara Lee, to come up here and introduce our speaker. Thank you, George.
Thank you very much, Dean. This is a very special evening for myself. I was thinking earlier that there really wouldn't be many people here tonight that have been here 50 years like I was here back in 1965, but I look around the room and I do see several of you who were here 50 years ago with me, and glad you're here tonight, and this is a wonderful evening. Like I said, this is a special event. We have a special guest here tonight. He is a very special friend, and his television daily show has won 2 Emmys, and he's recorded over 500 episodes. He also has 2.6 million viewers daily. He's a best-selling book author, as according to the New York Times and many other publications. His daily radio show has 9.1 million listeners every day. He has over 11 million people on social media. That's a lot more than all of us in here combined are. He has a #1 game show. He's the #1 game show host in the world with Family Feud, and there have been over 44.5 million viewers of Family Feud. He has over 15 business partnerships with NBC, ABC, and also Mr. Harvey Foods. He's married with 7 children, and as I said, he's a special friend. We're honored to have him here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Steve Harvey.
Wow. All right, you don't have to stand. I appreciate that. Y'all might not want to stand and clap when I'm done. First of all, look, I appreciate y'all asking me to come here this evening. You know, it's an honor. You know, you don't never know where God gonna take your life. You know, I've been telling jokes for 30 years. Primarily, I'm a stand-up comedian, but who'd ever thought I'd be at a business college in Mississippi. I don't. This is a tough sale, folks. I use humor in everything I do, so even tonight as I try to motivate and encourage, I have to use my gift. You know, it's what God gave me. There's a scripture that says, your gift will make room for you and put you in the presence of great men, and that's what it's done for me. And just being here, I want to thank George, Brian, and Marcy. They're really good friends of ours, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for George Bryan. I mean, look, you know, I'm standing in a place that used to be a cotton mill. Thank God y'all tore this down. I could not understand when I pulled up why I had cool drops of sweat rolling down the crack of my behind, but it was, the cotton had kinda. Look, folks, y'all might as well get used to me because this is how I'm gonna do it. I don't talk with paper. I don't come with prepared speeches. You know, I ask God, you know, for help when I talk, and he pretty much shares with me what I'm gonna share with you. True story though, last year, and this lady over here in the red reminded me of that, was a family on Family Feud. a black family, and they were from Mississippi State, and they all had these bells. And I don't really know what y'all do with the bells and all of that, but they asked me to ring it. So, you know, I get paid to do a lot of stuff I don't know nothing about, so I was just ringing the cowbell. Fast forward to this year on Family Feud. Now, that episode has aired already. A family was from Mississippi who saw the episode, but they didn't go to Mississippi State. They went to Ole Miss. And it meant nothing to me. I didn't have any inkling that there was a problem between y'all, but obviously he had seen the episode. And so when I walked over to the guy, now we've had to edit this out considerably because he wasn't the best, he wasn't really good for TV, is what I'm saying. And I walked over to the family and I'm meeting and I'm saying, well, sir, how you doing? Y'all from Mississippi, huh? And he said, yeah, we're proud of it. And I said, okay, that's good. And then I said, well, I got a friend down in Mississippi, George Bryan. He said, I know, you rang the cowbell. And I said, okay, I don't know what he's talking about because I didn't remember the episode from last year, so I'm just over here. And so I said, well, thank you, sir. He said, well, no, you rang the cowbell. Now, keep in mind, I have no idea what he's talking about. So I said, yeah, that's fine, sir. He said, we from Ole Miss, and you rang the cowbell. I said, okay, what the hell that got to do with me being on this show right now? I'm really struggling, and why you tripping on this cowbell? I said, well, what's wrong with the cowbell? He said, we from Ole Miss. He said, you rang the cowbell. And so I'm trying to stop him because the executive producers, they're from Hollywood. They have no idea what's going on. And so I can see them they in the back what is he talking about? And we're clueless. So I said, well, sir, that's all that. We from Ole Miss, you're going to have to wave a flag. I didn't at the time know what flag he was talking about. But it was some black people in the audience, and they said, Steve, that's a Confederate flag. I went, well, sir, I tell you what, I won't be waving the flag, and next time I see a bell, I'll be ringing the hell out of that thing right there. And folks, I'm not making this up. I told this to George. He said, man, you should tell that. They're going to love it. I wasn't expecting that big of a round of applause, but obviously that bell goes deep with y'all down here. Listen, I try to be encouraging to young people. There's young people in this room today. But at the same time, I try to be encouraging to just people, period. You know, the person you see standing up here now, with all the credits that George announced, that's not who I've always been. You know, God has changed me over the years. He's delivered me over the years. He saved me over the years. He did things for me that was, I mean, look at my life. You know, you listen to them credits. You know, I'm a little country boy from Welch, West Virginia. Had a severe stuttering problem. I could not talk outside of my home. I flunked out of college, so being here talking out of college, you can understand how that is for me. And I've been divorced twice. Took me 2 times to get it wrong to finally get it right. I'm a father of 7 kids. I was homeless. I lived in a car for 3 years. So when people look at me and they honor me and they stand up and they clap for me, it's emotional for me because people don't really know the trip I've been on. You know, they just see this. And so when I speak about my success, I always use some faith in it because I can't explain mine no other way. If you don't believe in God, I ain't here to ram it down your throat. If you think you can make it without him, go ahead, you know, knock yourself out. I don't really see it that way, but I always use faith when I'm talking. I got here because of that. And I say to young people all the time that, you know, look, in order to turn yourself into something or get out of a rut, you're going to have to rely on that faith sooner or later. You know, I'm a businessman, I guess you could say. Out of all the stuff I told you I went through, I made a comeback. You know, I recovered, a full recovery. I mean, you know, I taped my talk show in Chicago. My family and I, we spend 34 weeks in Chicago. We tape 185 shows a year. Then I go to Atlanta, where we tape Family Feud, and in 9 weeks, I tape 200 shows. My radio show that comes on 5 days a week, that's live 240 4-hour shows. Between the books, the movies, and all of that, people oftentimes ask me, well, Steve, how do you do all of that? How do you make all of this work? I happen to be a person who cares about every single minute of the day. I really do. I don't have no time in my day that I don't account for. And if you really want to be a success, you got to do that. Now listen to me. A lot of successful people in this room. I know money when I see it. I really do. I see your wife's outfits, and I see the rings, and I know money when I see it. There's a lot of people in here that's doing far better than me. But I'm here to encourage everybody at every level, wherever you are. You know, the thing that got me into this position was one day I jumped. Listen to me. Every successful person in this room, every young person in this room that's listening today, if you are successful, you have done this one thing. You have jumped. If you do not jump, it will never happen for you. See, a lot of people, and this is a business college, and you got all these young entrepreneurs that I've been hearing about all day. But that entrepreneurial spirit is important. Because, see, that is really what drives this economy, this country. You know, my father used to tell me it's 2 people born in the hospital every day. It's a person that's born in that hospital that's going to get a job, but somebody got to be born in that hospital that's going to give them a job. So when you have entrepreneurs, you have to encourage them because they produce ideas and they come up with it in different ways. But let me tell you something. The average person, the biggest mistake that the average person makes, they get their education, they hang that diploma on the wall, and then they depend on it. Most of you that have degrees, you know good and well, it's really a piece of paper that hangs on the wall unless you do something with it. Now that piece of paper is critical. It's very important for your development as a person, and it's critical to you moving up the ladder if that's your dream. But if you don't do something, it just hangs on the wall. And what I found in my life, life is 10% what happened to you, it's 90% what you do about it. So in all of the things that's happened to me, I made a comeback. When I was homeless and living in a car, you know, I used to talk to God a lot, you know, because I was out. I was so sick of changing in rest stops and gas stations and washing up in places like that. I asked God, I told God I wanted to be rich. And, you know, I know a lot of people don't like to hear that word, but, you know, I asked because, you know, there's a scripture that says you have not because you ask not. So when I was washing up, I just asked, could I be rich? Because I was up to here with poverty. I was so sick of being poor. I don't know how you handle poverty. I'm allergic to it at this point. I found it to be very debilitating. I was so sick of being poverty. So I wanted something more out of life. And I'm telling you today to say this, you know, my gift is humor. You know, that's how I made all my money. And I mean, you know, in the lifestyle that I have for my family. But October 8th, 1985, I was 28 years old, and I was struggling, man. I was struggling. I wasn't homeless, but I was struggling. But I was standing on the cliff of life, and I was watching everybody, a lot of people I knew who had completed their education, who had began to climb the corporate ladder. A lot of people I knew who were doing well. Some friends They were traveling the world, and they were starting to save money for retirement already. They was putting money away. I had a partner that had a second home, and the dude had a house down in Florida, and I was just struggling, man. And I was watching these people, and something I discovered about him. Everybody that I watched that was soaring, that was flying by and starting to do incredible things with their life, you know what I realized? They jumped. They jumped. They took that God-given gift that was tucked away on my back. See, I had this gift for a long time, but I had it tucked away on my back, safely in a parachute pack. But everybody else that I saw successful, they jumped. See, the only way to soar is one day you got to jump. So if you're a young person in this room, listen to me. Eventually, you got to jump. Now, you can stand here with your God-given gift because God gave everybody in this room a gift. You all got one. Now, what you done with it or not, that's up to you. But you got one. And if you don't jump, it's not a good life. It's not the life God put you here for. And God blesses you to become a blessing. That's why y'all give back. Some people really get that. But if you don't jump, if you never jump, you'll never soar. Here's the problem with jumping. When you jump, your parachute is not going to open right away. I wish I could tell you different, but it just does not open right away. You gonna get cut up. Man, them rocks gonna tear the skin off your back. If you've jumped, you understand what I'm talking about. You are going to feel as though you're in an uncontrollable tumble. You are going to wish days you had never jumped because it was so safe. It was so safe on that cliff. But man, you jumped. And it's an amazing thing when you jump, man. It's scary to jump. It's scary to jump out there, young people. It's scary, old people, to jump. Some people never jump. They just stand there, man, with that wonderful gift that God has given you, and they stand there with that thing packed on their back and never jump. But here's the good thing. Here's the good news about jumping. God got you. This is the good news. God got you. Now, excuse me, I told you when I started talking that I always implement faith into my thing because I wish I could tell you that I got here because I'm really that funny. I wish I could tell you that I got there because I'm the best there ever was. It's not. It's because I jumped and I knew he would get me. When it looked like he wasn't going to get me, he got me. And God has gotten all y'all so far. I mean, nobody sitting in this room, you can't name a single thing that God ain't got you through. Name it. And if he ain't got you through it, he currently pulling you through it right now. And you know how I know what I'm saying is true? Because you sitting in here. If he hadn't got you, you wouldn't even be here. Eventually, when you jump, he puts the necessary wind under the parachute, and you began to soar. But you soar because you jumped. Here's the part about it. If you don't jump, here's the other promise I can make you. Your parachute will never open. It'll never open. You'll spend the rest of your life standing there, watching everybody soar, never, ever having jumped, never knowing what it's like to be free, never, ever getting the life that God really got for you. Now, some people sit up in here and they say, well, Steve, I'm old. All right, well, let me pull your coat to something. My best example for old people jumping is Kentucky Fried Chicken. Colonel Sanders. I don't know if you ever noticed the picture of the dude on the bucket. He old. That's an old person. Now, Colonel Sanders has been frying chicken his entire life and was really good at it and was telling a lot of people, I fry the best chicken in the world. They didn't believe him. They didn't give him a franchise till he was in his 60s. Kentucky Fried Chicken sells more chicken than anybody in the world. He didn't get it till he was 60. When is it too late to jump? When is it too late to be successful? When is it too late to see what God got for you? So if you're standing there on the cliff, if I was you, I would jump. I would just jump one day just to see what God got for me because I live without jumping. it ain't no good, man. It's you existing. You know, you just exist. I use things like this to say to people in my own way, because I'm a storyteller. You know, if I don't know how to talk without telling stories, I don't have no paper, nothing, so I just try to get my message to people in a simple form. You probably got pastors at your church that do a much more wonderful job. I can't be a pastor because I cuss. You know, I've tried to stop, but I've been cussing since I was 4. And I have found that I am not capable of talking any extended period of time without cussing. Now I know it's some real righteous people in here that never use profanity. I find it refreshing. I happen to be ulcer free because of cussing. I've raised my children with cussing. It is cutting down on the number of butt whippings I have had to issue because I substitute profanity in its place. If you don't cuss at your children, I recommend that you try it sometimes. You've all wanted to. I was just cussing at my kids the other day. Sometimes I just cuss at them for no reason. I just let them have it. I got 2 boys in Morehouse, and I got 2 kids at FIU, and that wasn't the plan. The boys at Morehouse is supposed to be out. But due to having the same academic attention span as their daddy, they're still in college, and I got 2 at FIU. I have twin daughters that's 33. One of them just got married, and they graduated from Ohio State. Now, as I tell you what school my kids went to, I won't be mentioning Mississippi State, so please don't hang on thinking that I sent one of them to Mississippi, because I didn't. I used to be scared of Mississippi, tell you the truth. I really did. I told George Bryan when Greg Calhoun told me, he said, man, I want you to come to this beautiful place in Mississippi. And I said, where? And he said, Mississippi. I said, no, I can't go to Mississippi. He said, why not? I said, because I saw the movie. I ain't... Oh, you didn't see the movie. I'm the only one who saw the movie. So he said, man, I'm telling you, man, it's really nice down there. I said, I don't know, man. I'm going to just pass on Mississippi, because I used to perform in Mississippi, in Hattiesburg and Meridian. They had a club called Bonnie and Clyde's. And Bonnie and Clyde's used to have a comedy night. And I had 2 horrific experiences at Bonnie and Clyde in Meridian and Hattiesburg. So I told God when I get out of here, I wouldn't be driving back down here no time. And I was telling it to Greg Calhoun, and he said, no, man, you got to come. And so they flew me in one time, and I'd never met George, and he took me to his place, and I was driving, and, I wasn't, I was looking around, and, I wasn't real easy, and all of a sudden we made a right turn into Old Waverly, and I was sitting there, I went, well, okay, this is nice. And then I met Miss Mary in the kitchen, and she was nice, and then I met George and Marcy, and they were real nice, and we were talking and everything, and I said, man, this is nice. I went out on the golf course. I don't really play golf well, you know what I mean? I know the rules and everything, but I really don't understand the golf swing, really. Everybody talking about if you're an athlete, you can play golf. Well, that's a lie. Been an athlete all my life, and I still can't get that little ball to do a doggone thing I wanted to do. So I went out on a golf course. It was just a beautiful place. Now it's one of my favorite places to come. I come down here all the time. I'm down here at least 3 times a year, and I stay at Old Waverly. It's a nice place now. I ain't really got no point to that story. I just would just... Yeah, I just like Old Waverly. I like pork, bacon, and George killed hogs and had a big company. I met a lot of really nice men over there and a lot of nice ladies and everything, and that's all to it. I saw Marcy today. She was in the ladies' lounge downstairs on the first floor, the ladies' clubhouse, locker room, something. And I didn't know it, and I saw it, and I just waved, and I almost walked in, and they had ladies on there, and then I realized, Mississippi ladies, that ain't gonna be a good look. Y'all didn't see the movie? I have several businesses outside of entertainment. God has been good to me in that I've started to branch out because one of the reasons is, I have grandkids and I have 3 grandchildren. And I can't leave them TV shows. I cannot leave them jokes, none of that. It doesn't translate. Entertainment is a tough business, man. It really, really is. So I ventured off into some other things. I don't know if you all familiar with Chicago, Garrett's Popcorn. Just say yes, okay, folks? It's the best popcorn in the world. I found out that George liked popcorn. I sent him some Garrett's. It's a great popcorn. I own the rights to the entire southeast of Garrett's Popcorn. It's a family-run business. I'm the only person that they've ever allowed to franchise those things out. I got a bacon line that just came out called Easy Bacon. Started that. George Bryan presented me with that idea with my partner, Greg Calhoun, bacon. And so it's in Walmarts and Publix right now doing a test run. It's selling out. They're doing pallets now. And Greg Calhoun and I bought and purchased a plant in Eufaula, Alabama called Ameritech. It's the only latex glove manufacturing company in the United States. And I've been friends with the Obama administration. Probably shouldn't have said that here, but let's just scratch that comment. I know some people in the White House, and they helped me with government funding and, bringing jobs to America. Would you like me if I open the plant up in Mississippi then? Thank you very much. And so I guess that's another reason I'm here today. And if I could just say another thing in my own way. My mother, when she was living, my father was a third grade educated man. My father only went to the third grade. He was a sharecropper, so he had to help his father. And when I first got out to Hollywood, they tried to change me. You can probably tell I got kind of a little southern dialect myself. I was born in Welch, West Virginia, and I grew up farming in West Virginia. And every summer I had to go back to the farm. We had to move to Cleveland because of some situation my father had created. Probably need to just leave that story where that is. But my father's gone anyway, so they can't do nothing to him. But anyway, we had to move to Cleveland. And when I first got out to Hollywood, I don't know if you noticed, but you don't really see a lot of country people on TV unless you watch CMT Network. You just don't, they don't put people like me on TV. They don't, the way I talk is not NBC-ish. I was on ABC for a while. I got a Celebrity Family Feud on ABC. I got a talk show on NBC. I got Family Feud that's on all the networks. And me and Ellen just signed a deal, and we just taped another show called Little Big Shots that'll air in January. It's on NBC. So I'm all over the place. But NBC was listening to me after the first year, and they decided that I would be most successful in daytime TV if I took I think it's a linguistics course. And when they told me they wanted me to take a linguistics course, I told them I already knew how to make spaghetti. And so that's that public school education I have. It kicks in from time to time. But it wasn't the first time I had heard that. When I got on ABC, they came to me with the same thing. And my father was still living there. And they told me, they said, if you speak different, if you learn how to talk like middle America, you'll make a lot more money. And so I went home, I was talking to my daddy. I told my daddy they was gonna have me take a course on how to talk. And my daddy said, oh, okay. So you gonna do that there? And I said, you've all heard that before. So you're going to do that there? That means you're going to do that? And I said, well, yeah, I'm thinking about it. He said, well, son, let me tell you something. He said, if you let them do that, you're going to mess your money up. I said, well, Pop, they say if I change the way I talk, I can make more money. He said, son, an old man told me something one time. He said, now you can take this to the bank or not. You can say this, I'm is rich, or you can say I am broke. So, I'm is rich. And I thank the Lord for that. That's just a, trying to find where y'all at in this speech is hard right now. Because I'm bouncing all over the place. I'm a stand-up comedian, so my job is, if I were a comic, I would just do what was written on the paper, and if it worked, it worked. But I'm a comedian, so I play to the crowd, and I'm trying to find y'all. And, if I say something about that damn bell, you start laughing. But other than that, I'm out here grinding, and y'all ain't paying me for being here. This is, so I was playing golf with Jerry Payton today, and man, this boy right here, this dude hits a golf ball so straight. Just nailing it. I was just watching him, and he like 86 or something. I'm just kidding. He's really just a couple years older than me, and so it's really embarrassing out there just watching this man, but when it's your gift, when it's what you were born to do, it's effortless. See, your gift is the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. You out there struggling to play golf, it's because you ain't really a golfer. You should just keep selling oil and making cars and selling pork or whatever it is you do to make your money. Sell real estate. Tell your jokes. Why am I out here trying to hit the ball far as this man when I don't stand a chance in hell of hitting my ball that far? If it go that far, I can't find it. I've been all over Old Waverly. Old Waverly is real old when I'm playing. So I'm gonna get ready to close for you. I'm gonna tell you something in my own way. There was a scripture that my mother raised me with, and she used to say it to me all the time, and it's faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And man, at my church, every time they said that, people would stand up and clap, and I would stand up too and clap. But I gotta tell you something, can I be real with you? I didn't really know what it meant. I really don't. What do you mean? Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. I never understood it until I got a little older and I was reading a book. And Albert Einstein, the genius, the inventor, he took that scripture and he paraphrased it. He put it in a way that somebody like me could wrap my mind around it. You know what he said? He said, imagination is everything. It's the preview to life's coming attractions. Wait a minute, what? He said, imagination is everything. It's the preview to life's coming attractions. So you know what that means? That actually means that everything you've ever imagined is real. It's not only real, it's God showing you a preview of a coming attraction he has for you. See, that's great information for somebody like me. See, it changed my life when I heard that, because I had done everything I knew to be successful, but I needed that little piece of information. Because you know what? I kept listening to people, man, if you go back to school, if you get this degree in that, if you go here and you get this. Yeah, but and education is important, and I'm saying that in an educational institute. And a lot of your dreams can be tied to your education. But at the end of the day, man, it's really your imagination. So the Bible don't never mention education, not the parts I done read. Now, it might be in there, but I missed it. I don't know but 4 or 5 scriptures, no way. But them 4-5 scriptures got me here, so I'm cool with the 4-5 I know. I know a lot of people know way more about the Bible. You call their house and they got these long answering machines on 1 Corinthians, Matthew 6 and 5. Furthermore, I henceforth gather your, amen, dog. I just called to say hi. I really didn't need to know I was going to hell. I just wanted to say hi, man. So when I heard that information, that imagination is everything, it's the preview to life's coming attraction, it changed me. Because now it offered me something I could do, because I could imagine. See, imagination is the second half of that scripture. That's what I learned. See, imagination is the evidence of things not seen. See, your imagination, that's evidence. So when it pops in your head, you got to start dealing with it. Because how do you think imagination gets up here? You ever thought about this for a minute? See, just trip on this with me, because this, I think, a little bit twisted, you know. I think because my comedians' minds operate always on the left half, and that's a little bit different half right there. So how do you think your imagination got there? Because a lot of people think imagination is hocus pocus. It's some unreal thing. But let me tell you something. Do you realize that it is impossible for you to think an impossible thought? That is impossible. You ain't that smart. You can't think an impossible thought. So when you have these thoughts in your imagination, that's God, man. And that's God showing you a preview of a coming attraction that he has for you. See, I'm in this position today really because my mama was a praying person. I really know that. I'm also here because of faith and a whole lot of grace. And if you know something about God, you understand grace, you dig? So I'm really here because of that. But I'm also here because of my imagination. Because see, when I was 10 years old, a teacher asked me to write on a piece of paper what I wanted to be when I grow up. So I wrote on the paper, I want to be on TV. 10-year-old boy from Welch, West Virginia, living in the hood in Cleveland, Ohio, with a severe stuttering problem. I could not talk outside of my house. So she had everybody stand and she read everybody's paper off. When she got to mine, she saved me for last. She had me come to the front of the class. Now I'm thinking, this is it. Finally, I'm going to get a gold star. I ain't never had a gold star before. This is my gold star moment. I walked up to the front of the class. She said, why did you write this on your paper? And I was getting ready to stutter, but I pulled it together. I said, because that was our assignment for today. She said, but why did you write that on your paper? And I'm saying to myself, well, I just told this lady, and it took everything I had to get this out because I stutter, so I can't repeat it. I done worked it up. And she said, do you know anybody on TV? And I shook my head, no, ma'am. She said, anybody in your family ever been on TV? No, ma'am. Now, I can tell by the tone of her voice, this is not the gold star I thought it was going to be. This dream-killing woman is destroying me. And that's what she did. She humiliated me in front of the class. She said, how could you write something like that on the paper? And listen to how you talk. How you gonna ever be on TV? You take this paper home and you write something more believable on it. So every Christmas, I send her a flat screen TV. Because I don't want her to miss me. I want you to see the little boy from Welch, West Virginia. I want you to see the little boy with the severe stuttering problem. I want you to see the little boy you wrote off and told he wasn't going to be nothing. I didn't know it at the time, but my imagination was at work. My imagination was my preview to a coming attraction that my God had for me. So it didn't matter what she said. See, imagination is everything. It's the preview to life's coming attraction. See, everything you have today, you only have it because you imagined it. You ever thought about it like I'm about to tell you? All you got is because you imagine it. You ready? I'm going to show you two ways. Let's go. Let's go. How about your hairstyle? How you think it got up there? You imagine that hairstyle. That's the one you got. How about that outfit you got on? It was just hanging on a coat hanger somewhere. You imagined it on you. Guess what? That's the one you got. The car you drive. Anybody make you buy that car? You went on the lot. You imagined yourself driving off in that. You saw yourself. Oh, big baller. That's the one you drove off in. See, you didn't see yourself in the one that costs more money because you didn't see yourself with that one. You saw yourself with the one you got. That's the one you drove off in. See, what about the place you live? A realtor just showed it to you. You imagine pulling up in that driveway, turning the key. You imagine it. That's where you live. See, God don't give you what you want. He give you what you believe. See, the moment you start believing in your imagination, he starts sending it to you. You ever realize that? As soon as you believe in it, he starts sending it to you. Your problem is, though, you tell your imagination to the wrong person. You want to kill a big dream? Tell your big dreams to a small-minded person. Man, how many bright ideas have you had? And you told it to some small-minded person, and they shot it down. Usually family members. Usually family or so-called friends. You go on with what you thought was a great idea. When they get through talking to you, it ain't a good idea no more. You ever had a Christian? This is the one Christians kill me with. If it was the Lord's will. How do you know what the Lord's will is? Really, you. How you know that? It's amazing, man, how people get talked off their imagination. That's why you still imagining stuff. You still imagine an extra house, a bigger home, a business. That's why you still imagine leaving your grandkids something. That's why you still imagine one day being famous or whatever you might have in your mind. Just because that's God. He's trying to show you something. Now, y'all's imagination, when you already got money, you have imagination of changing the world, changing the lives of people in other countries, fixing cancer. You take your money and you do the right stuff with it. You're going to educate more people. Me and my wife want to send 10,000 kids to school, full scholarship paid, 10,000 kids. You know how much money that is? It's way more money than I got. But guess what? If it's in my imagination and I believe it, God will send it to me. That's how this works, man. That's how it works. So if you're young and you're sitting in this room, don't you let nobody talk you off your imagination. Because imagination is real, man. If it was education, I wouldn't even be standing here today. I wouldn't. I don't have one. You think I'm bothered by that? No, sir. I made a comeback. I had a faith. You know, you can recover from anything. If you're in this room and you think you got yourself in a hole so deep you can't get yourself out of, you ain't got yourself in nothing God can't get you out of. You're talking to a dude, I ain't even a preacher. I'm just a regular dude, man, from the hood that come out of Welch, West Virginia. My daddy was a coal miner. He made $5 a day. That's where I come from. I lived in a house with 13 people in the house with one bathroom. You know how hard it is? 13 people, one bathroom, 8 of them women. Spent my whole childhood peeing outside. I missed that. A lot of you men know what I'm talking about. Going outside just urinating as a young boy. Remember when you could urinate really hard? Remember when you could move all the water around in the toilet bowl? I could roll a Coke can up the street, full of Coke, uphill, push it, pull, pow. I'm almost 60 now. I just sound like ice cubes going in the water. Click, 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 click. I'm sorry. I felt like I'm probably not a urinating joke crowd. I'm sorry, Miss Marcy. I'm so sorry. Well, George is laughing, so I must be okay. This is the last point I'm going to prove to you about your imagination. It's everything. It's the preview to life's coming attractions. Here's the last point. When you go to the movie and you get there real early, before the movie starts, what do they show you? A preview of a coming attraction. Have you ever seen a preview and the movie didn't come out? The movie always follows the preview. It is a must. It's a principle of success. Now, whether you like the trailer or not, whether you go to the movie or not, the movie coming. You may say, I don't like the trailer. That movie do $100 million at the box office. I don't like that actor. He get an Oscar for that same movie you didn't like. So folks, do yourself a favor. The next time your Heavenly Father shows you a preview, go to the movie. You're probably starring in it, and I bet you'll like it when you get there. Thank y'all for having me. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you, folks. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. Mr. Harvey, thank you for honoring us this evening with that wonderful message. And I tell you, you probably don't remember all this. This is my third time to meet Mr. Harvey. I met him about a year ago. My son, Rhett, and I were at Old Waverly. And some of you know that I spent some time living and working in Washington, D.C. I never played golf on a golf course with President Obama or President Bush, but on 2 occasions, I had the opportunity to play on the same golf course when President Clinton was playing. And when the President of the United States is playing golf, you can imagine he has a huge entourage. Well, the first time I met this gentleman was about a year ago, and I was on the first tee at Old Waverly with my son, and coming down the hill was Mr. Harvey and his entourage. He has an entourage. And we met and had a good time. And then I guess back during this summer, this year, my son Rhett and I just happened to be at Old Waverly the same day that Mr. Harvey and his entourage, Mr. Pate, you know about his entourage, showed up, and we had a nice visit. And this time we played, we were playing golf, and my son kept notice because Mr. Harvey plays, and Mr. Pate, you'll like this, he has colored golf balls. Yellow, I believe. Yeah. I remember that.
Bridgestone, they all over Old Waverly.
That's my point. And my son was looking back because he's a big, Family Feud fan. We got our picture made with Mr. Harvey. He was very gracious to us, very nice. My son loves Family Feud, loves this guy. And we were playing ahead of his entourage, this big, massive group of people that he travels with. And my son kept looking back over his shoulder, watching Mr. Harvey. And after I think about, 8 holes or so, I guess, my son Rhett said, Daddy, I think Mr. Harvey needs some more golf balls. Yeah. So what did I do? You may not remember, but what did I do? I carried him a dozen golf balls.
Yeah, it was a
Mississippi State on them, that's right. Yeah, you remember
I lost
that?
them too.
You lost them too? Well, we can't let you get out of here. I know you had a rough time with that crew from Ole Miss on your show, and I know you mentioned that when next time you have the opportunity to hold one of these, your very own. Let me get it here. Thank you, Mr. Harvey. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
God bless you. God bless you.
Hey, folks, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Marcy, I love you. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate you. I'm going to pray for y'all tomorrow.
Wow, how do you follow that? Well, in the essence of time, I'm going to kind of skip a few things. But I did want to tell you one little story that I was going to give you a little bit of trivia, but there's one story I did want to tell you, and that was, everyone knows that, I think it was, and I've got the date here, that there was a time when the university was closed to women, that women were banned from Mississippi State University, and it was because they said that the women were a distraction to the cadets. But I bet one of the things I wanted to tell you is the first female that came to Mississippi State after the ban was over was a College of Business student. She came from Texas A&M. They didn't have a business program in the state of Texas at the time, so she came to Mississippi State because we have the business program. So in your booklet tonight in front of you, and I hope everyone will take it, we have the 100 and 100, but we have her, Margaret Woods, listed because she was a trailblazer back in her day. But at this time, I want to introduce to you the person who has really been the spearhead for this whole campaign that we've had this year. Dr. Melissa Moore is an award-winning faculty member and has just been great to work with throughout all of this. She is our Centennial Fellow, and she has a few things to tell you and to show you.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome. Some of you may know me, and there's many a times when I speak, and then somebody follows up after me, and they say, gosh, how am I going to follow that? And now I know what it's like. But here we are. Good evening and welcome. I'm really excited to be here and share this very special opportunity with you. There's a common phrase that I've heard ever since I joined MSU 16 years ago, and it goes something like this. Mississippi, or for that matter, MSU, is the best kept secret. However, after researching our college, its accomplishments over the last 100 years, and what we've done over this past year to celebrate our centennial, it's abundantly clear there's no need for secrets. Here in the Bulldog Nation, we mean business. And we've not hesitated to tell our story. Just take McCool Hall. Anybody that stops by there, whether you're inside or outside the building, there are banners 20 feet tall hanging that share our message. This past spring, we shared our message in women's and men's basketball, and 24/7, we've had our logo up there on Dudy Noble Field. Everybody knows our story. We place ads regionally, internationally, actually, in Biz Ed magazine, to just share what our story is, that we mean business. An important component of our centennial has been the clarification and the reaffirmation of the values that we stand for. And we talked to students, we talked to faculty, we talked to many of you, and we found out that when we say business, what we mean is opportunity and leadership. What we mean is discovery and innovation. What we mean is community and integrity. So we developed a collection of videos that share that story, and then behind each of those videos, we've had individuals, many of you in this room, that have come to campus and have talked about those core values that stand up behind each and every single one of our graduates. So what I'd like to do now is share with you just one more phrase, one that a picture might mean 1,000 words. In this case, it's going to be a video. Let's take a look. The message is clear. We mean business. During tomorrow's win over Alabama, I do have a crystal ball. A 60-second version of this video is going to be shown during the first time out of the first quarter. This will also be a point when myself and the dean and 4 members of our executive advisory board will get to walk out on the field and accept the game ball, which will then be prominently displayed in the College of Business for years to come. Over the past 10 months, we've celebrated in style, literally. For the first time ever, we actually have College of Business merchandise available in-store and online at Barnes & Noble. Feel free to go by and check that out. We have celebrated out on the golf course with our Centennial Golf celebration, given our outstanding PGM program that hosted that. We found a reason to chow down yet again with Little Deweys and our students. We had bops out on campus in the atrium to eat ice cream, and the list goes on, including tonight, the gala. A wonderful opportunity to just celebrate an amazing college at an outstanding research institution. So please join me now in recognizing just a few of the many outstanding individuals that demonstrate what we as a college, what we as a university stand for. At this point, I'm going to read some names of the individuals that are here in attendance. A complete list can be found on the booklets that are located on your table. You can also find out more information on our college website and in the Dividends publication that's going to be coming your way soon. As I call your name, please come forward to the front, and the dean's going to present you with a small token of appreciation. Please, let's all reserve our applause, and let's get going. Boyce Adams. And we're going to hold those applause. I know it's kind of a trick question, but we're going to hold those. Boyce Adams, Joe Ostel, Granville Barker, Susan Bell, George Bryan, Stephen Bueller, Mary Childs, Tony Clark, James Kofer, Jim Cogan, Lamar Conlery, Cynthia Cooper, Carolyn Carrero, Charvis Davidson, Dewar Dunn, Mike Farrell, Haley Fasackerly, Hassel Franklin, Linda Garrett, Jan Gwynn, Bill Holly, Mickey Holloman, Rhonda Keenum, Frank Lee, Louis Mallory, Don Mason, Lee Miller, Oscar Muskelly, Rod Moore, Deborah Oberkirk, Craig Orgeron, Hal Parker, Joe Rice, Jim Rouse, Derek Sherrod, Lex Taylor, Mary Alice Taylor, Gerald Timms, Jerry Tony, William Waller, M.L. Walters, Charles Weatherly, and Don Whitmire. Lastly, I would like to extend my deep, heartfelt appreciation to each and every one of you for your generous support of your time, your money, or just simply your voice in supporting the mission of the college and what it is that we stand for. We mean business, and I'm guaranteed that that's going to be the next catchphrase for the next 100 years. Thank you.
We're about at the end of the program, but we have a special thing we want to do at this time. At this point, I want to bring up to the front Jan Gwynn, who is the chair-elect of our Executive Advisory Board, and he's going to give a little toast to the future of the College of Business. So each of you have a champagne glass in front of you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dean Oswalt, and your staff and the faculty who are here this evening for this very, very special evening. I want to especially thank also Catherine Williams, and I don't know where Catherine is, but who played a very, very big part in the organization of the evening. Catherine, are you here? Somewhere. Give her a hand. Also, before I present this infamous toast, I would be remiss if I didn't say something like the fact that I see so many of you out there that in this room we have one thing in common, and that's that we love Mississippi State University. And not only that, this evening, your presence, I see the Hals and the Hassels, the Georges, the Jims, the Rides, the Ronnies, the Richards, the Rondas, and so many of you that believe in this university and believe in this College of Business. And that's why we're going forward in the next 100 years together to be the finest College of Business in America. Give yourselves a hand. And now, without any further ado, I'd like for you all to stand and join me for a toast. I know there's something in a glass at your table, and I'd like for us to get ready to raise that glass. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have celebrated with great pride 100 years strong in this College of Business. Now, let's move swiftly into the new millennium with extraordinary membership, extraordinary leadership, with a faculty moving forward, taking advantage of world-class innovation. Always, all of us embracing every opportunity that comes our way and seeking new and exciting avenues of entrepreneurship that was mentioned earlier. And not only that, also going forward with a strong sense of faith and integrity. And so tonight, as we go our separate ways, let us tell the world that Mississippi State University and the College of Business, we mean business. We indeed mean business. Hail State. Raise a glass. Hear, hear. Hear, hear. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jan, for a great toast. I just wanted, before we leave tonight, I want to remind everybody that tomorrow we have a College of Business tailgate right next to the Alumni Association tailgate. We'd love for you to be there. Also, we are sponsoring the Alabama game, so please buy a program and you'll see our commemorative ad in there. And watch us during the first quarter of the game because we will be going out on the field. We'll show a shorter version of the video, and we'll go out on the field and accept the game ball on behalf of the College of Business. I want to announce the winners of the silent auction, and if you are a winner of the auction, if you will meet Catherine and the staff over by the silent auction table. So the College of Business memorabilia basket, Doug Robertson. The artwork by Jeanette Jarman, Doug Robertson. The Weekend at Orange Beach, Susan Bell. Entertainment by Jeffrey Rupp, Ginger Wolf. There's another piece of artwork by Jeanette Jarman, Kathy St. John. The DeVeo gift crate, Meg Freeman. The Woodford Reserve Bourbon, Richard Atkerson. The Gentleman Jack Bourbon, John Hairston. The Aspen Bay Candle, Jonathan Huff. The 3 golf lessons, Fred Nichols. The meal by Brian Michael, Cindy Palmer. The hand-painted cowbell, Boyce Adams. The Thanksgiving gift basket, Shirley Lee. The Battle Bell, John Hairston. The Congressional Cufflinks, Boyce Adams. The limited edition Bulldog, Glenn Taylor. The Old Main Brick, Jonathan Huff. Again, I want to thank all of you for being here. In your program, there's a list of all our sponsors who helped make this whole year possible for us. And I also want to thank my staff for everything they've done this year. With that, we'll conclude the evening. Be safe. Go Dogs. Let's beat Alabama tomorrow.